Hello, I wanted to tell you today about a brand called Performance Colors, and I have done 2 orders now with this company. They are found on Etsy, and they have some really nice products that I wanted to, tell you about and share with you. So first of all, these products are not 100% natural, and they do contain phenoxyethanol, so if you avoid that, I personally don't avoid it. And they also, some of them have silicones, which I'm also fine with. So basically this brand is like a merge of, some man-made things and then some natural ingredients. And because of that, this makeup performs better than most, 100% natural products, just because some of these man-made ingredients can do things that natural ingredients just can't. I usually talk about natural makeup. That's why I'm talking about ingredients here in case that's something that you're interested in. But if that's something that you're looking for as performance and you're okay with some man-made ingredients, that's pretty much what this company is about. So that's what I'm trying to say here. And I bought a whole bunch of things here, and I will swatch them for you to give you some idea of colors as well. So I have 4 samples of their foundation, and I have one of these on my face today. Let's see, which one do I have? I think I have the neutral and fair on my face today. I'm pretty sure. So the foundation samples come in a little pod like this. And here is how much you get. You get a lot of product. This is plenty for a whole bunch of applications. Swatches for you. Here's fair neutral. Here is Snowy, which looks to me like it has a little bit of a pink undertone to it. Neutral looks pretty neutral. And then you have fair warm, which kind of has some neutral and a little bit of yellow to it. And then you have chalk, which is the lightest, and that has some yellow undertones to it. So what this foundation is like is it is very, very smooth and silky. So I kind of blended them all together on my hand, all the colors, but just to show you kind of the finish that it has a matte finish. It almost feels like a powder when you're blending it on. And it just feels very silky and smooth. Like you can tell if you've ever used a silicone-based primer that this kind of feels like that. This is a very long-lasting foundation. I have had this on my face since this morning. It's maybe like 3 o'clock now, and I went to the park with my kids and my dad who's here visiting, and it was so unbelievably hot and humid, and I was sweating. And it's still on my face. It might not be completely perfect like it was when I first applied it, but it's like 90% perfect, and that's all that matters. So this is a very long wearing foundation. It can, really stand up to the heat and sweat and all that stuff. So this is very nice. One thing about the foundation though is I feel like it's probably better suited for skin that isn't too dry. I think somebody with dry skin definitely can wear this because this product is not drying, but I know I personally prefer more of like a creamy moisturizing foundation, and one that will make my face look a little bit glowy and dewy. And so if you like that, then this may not work out for you. But if you don't need, you can just wear moisturizer underneath this, and then you don't need something moisturizing. And also a lot of people prefer a matte finish. So if that's what you like, then you're definitely gonna like this because it's super lightweight. It blends on, like a dream. It has like a dry, almost powder-like finish, and it gives you a nice, very matte look. And even though it's not my ideal combination, for things that I look for my skin type, I still really, really like this. And I do wear this. I've worn this several times, and I especially like it right now in the summer when it's hot because this really lasts. And so I wear it even though it's matte. I still wear it for the lasting power, and I can always apply something a little bit more glowy, like some kind of highlighter over it to get the effect that I want. And one thing I noticed with the concealers is that they seem to be slightly darker than the foundation. Like the colors don't all necessarily correspond because you have fair, cream, there's chalk and snowy are the only ones that have the same names as the foundation colors. And the concealer comes in a smaller container. So if this is, right here is the foundation and here's a concealer, but it is still plenty for lots of uses because you don't use as much of a concealer obviously as you do of a foundation. So these are really great samples, and they are just incredibly affordable. I'm going to swatch them all for you right now. So here you have Chalk, Snowy, Fair, and Cream concealers. The concealer that suits me best is Chalk. That's what I'm wearing underneath my eyes, but I do have another concealer over it, so this is not, the best way to show you the color. But what I like to do with this concealer, because it has good staying power, good wear, is I like to put a thin layer of this underneath my eyes and then put another concealer that has more coverage but doesn't last quite as long on top of it. This way I kind of get best of both worlds, so to speak. And this concealer, it does have good coverage. You can definitely build it up and get really good coverage underneath your eyes. The problem for me is because it has almost that like cream to powder feeling, it's a little bit dry for underneath my eyes. It's not drying in any way, but it's just not like, very creamy or balm-like. For the underneath the eye area. And my skin's dry under there, and so I just like some of these more creamy products. And this concealer also, because it's so matte, it can look, a little dry and on the dry skin that I already have. And so that's why I kind of layer it with other products, but it's very nice. Now I'm going to move on to this Shadow Magnet, which is their eyelid primer. And this is what it looks like. It actually is tinted, and it has a color. Let me swatch it for you real quick. So it's sort of like skin tone colored. I'm quite pale, so it looks like a dark color on me, but if you're, maybe light to medium skin tone, this will be closer to your actual skin tone. And it's very convenient because it's in this little tube. It's convenient to apply. You can just put it directly on your eyes, or you can, touch your finger to it or a brush or whatever you want and spread it on your eyelid. In terms of performance, this definitely works better than any natural eyeshadow primer that I've tried, because none of those have worked for me, but it doesn't work quite as good as things like Too Faced Shadow Insurance or Urban Decay Primer Potion for me. So it makes sense because it kind of falls in between those two. Like, the Too Faced is completely not natural, and this is kind of in between because it's quasi-natural, and so it works for several hours. It works quite good, but not just all day long like, some of those brands, some of those popular eyeshadow primers from the non-natural brands. And then I have two of their full-size eyeshadows, cream eyeshadows, and then I have a whole bunch that I will swatch for you of the sample size cream eyeshadows. I have 4 here, and these are quite nice. They do last a long time. They last a little bit longer for me for some reason than the lid primer. They do have different ingredients, so I guess it makes sense that they would perform differently, but for some reason the eyeshadows last longer on me. They last really good. It kind of depends maybe a little bit on the weather or something, but there's days that these will last all day long on me, and then there's days that I'll have a little bit of creasing, but overall they are very long lasting. So here's swatches of all the colors that I have. This one is Buttercup, this one is Champagne, and Buttercup is a gold. It's like a light yellow gold. Champagne is kind of like a champagne color, but to me anyways, it looks like it has a little bit of green to it, like a green shine. I don't know if you can see that. This is Flush, and Flush is a very light pinky purple. All of these have sparkles. You can probably see the sparkles quite well in Flush. And the white one next to Flush is actually called Sparkles. It's just a white with shimmer. And so all of these have kind of larger size shimmers in them. And then this one right here is Winter Palace. It's like a very warm reddish rosy brown, and this right here is called Raisin, and this is more of a darker, cooler tone brown. And the shimmer is finer, especially in this one. It's very fine compared to some of the ones up here. And on my eyes today, I have Flush, which was that purpley color, but I kind of am using it as a base. So I have powder eyeshadows over top of it, so you can't really see it, but I did a purple look, so I thought that would work well as kind of a light purple base underneath. And it's, you know, it's held up my look really good. You don't have any creasing, so you can use this as a primer or base underneath your eyeshadows as well. The one problem that I have with these is I like to use the lighter colors because I like to put something light all over, and if I use a darker color, that's fine too. That's kind of more in the crease, but I always need at least one light color to put, you know, on my lid. And the lighter colors have that larger shimmer, and I typically don't like the larger glitter-like shimmer in my eyeshadows due to the fallout that you can have with it. Now, you actually don't get fallout with these because they're creamy, they're long-lasting, and it just kind of sticks to your lid, and you don't have fallout when you're applying it or afterwards. I mean, I don't have any fallout of glitter now. The problem is when you take these off at the end of the day, that larger glitter, it kind of gets everywhere as you're washing it off your eyes. And I don't know if you've encountered this, but some of these larger sparkles, they just like stick to you. You'll have like one random sparkle and it'll just stay there and it just doesn't come off. That happens to me. And I'll have, you know, some random sparkles like in random places on my face, kind of around my eye area the next day, that just didn't come off. And you can see I wiped my hand down with a paper towel just now. That's why it's kind of pink. But can you see some random like loose sparkles shining there, catching the light? So, I mean, it's not a huge problem, but it just kind of bothers me when I'm washing my face and I just can't get some of these sparkles off no matter how much makeup remover I use. They just like really stick on. So that's the only thing, is I wish some of these lighter colors didn't have the chunkier glitter in them. And two of these colors, the Sparkles and the Flush, she actually just recently reformulated those because all of her cream shadows, I guess they used to be in little pots, and then she reformulated them and now they're in these containers. And so those two, they may not necessarily be up on the site depending on, you know, when you're watching this video, but they do exist and you can ask for them. They're real colors. And so lastly, I have some lip products from her, and this is something that she included samples of that I didn't purchase. If you buy at least $10 worth of product, you get free samples, is what it says, and if you do 20 or more, you get a free eyeliner. And so the lip color that I have on my lips today, and these are in the same little container as the concealers, and you get the same amount of product, so you get a lot of product. The color that I have is Temptress, and that's what I'm wearing on my lips, and I will swatch all of these for you. This one right here is Coral Kiss. This is Temptress, and both of these are a cream. They don't have any shimmer to them. And then Rocket and Saint Tropez, these do have some fine shimmer. So Coral Kiss is obviously coral, and it kind of leans a little bit red. Temptress is the one I told you about that I'm wearing. That's a pretty neutral, fairly light, but not a baby pink, like just a light pink. And then Rocket is almost like a fuchsia. It's a very bright pink that is cool toned. And then Saint Tropez is a really pretty peachy, kind of maybe a little bit nude, and has gold shimmer in it. And the only one of these I've tested is Temptress. I haven't worn the other ones just because if you know me, you know my love and commitment to Silk Naturals lip products. It's very hard for any company to top them. So these are definitely nice, but there's a couple of little things that is probably just personal preference, but I still prefer my Silk Naturals lip products over these. The thing is, they looked nice and glossy on my hand and the swatches, and they even look glossy on your lips when you put them on. But eventually, as time goes by, that glossiness wears off, and they feel moisturizing, but once that glossiness wears off, they no longer feel moisturizing, and they kind of dry my lips a little bit, just because I'm not sure, maybe it's some of these ingredients that make them long wearing, because they are very long wearing. When the glossy shine of these wears off, you are still left with the color like a traditional lipstick, and it wears for a very long time, and so it's lovely for that reason. But my lips tend to be really dry, and up until I found Silk Naturals, there's like very few lip products that I could wear because everything would dry my lips out. And it's not necessarily that the product itself is drying my lips, it's just that my lips are so dry, like I need constant moisture. I need some kind of really balmy, really moisturizing product that's gonna keep them hydrated, you know, throughout the day. And so if you don't mind, if you don't need that, if your lips are not finicky like that and you're looking for more of a lipstick, you know, long wearing product, then these are lovely, and they have some beautiful colors. Like, I really like these colors. It's funny because I'm usually kind of picky, but pretty much all of these except for the coral are like right up my alley. Even the bright one, when I wear bright colors, I love colors like this. So they're very pretty. And that is pretty much it. That is all that I wanted to say. These are all the products that I wanted to review for you. I think it's a wonderful company, and my favorite thing from them is probably the concealer. I really, really like the concealer. And then if I do really like their cream eyeshadows, and these would be a favorite thing for me also if there was a color that didn't have those large sparkles in them. But really all the products are lovely, and the foundation's great now in the summer. I'm probably not going to use this in the winter. I'm going to do more of a moisturizing dewy foundation because my skin gets really dry in the winter. But just awesome products, awesome company. They have really good customer service. They have really generous, really, really cheap, affordable samples. So, you know, I've had a very positive experience, and I've enjoyed everything that I've bought from them. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.